Sometimes you feel it, other times you're bored. You understood me once.
So you collaborated with Nancy on her 2004 record. How did that collaboration come about?
If I recall, I knew her son-in-law at the time, Matty Azzardo. He had a studio in Hoboken, New Jersey. I met him through this producer friend of mine, Don Fleming, who I'd worked with prior. And I think Matt might have engineered some stuff with us. And I met AJ. I think he might have, I don't know if he was in AJ's band too. But she had a really cool single. What was her band called? Oh, she had a cool band. And she had a good single. I had a 45 of it, I think I remember. It's escaping me right now. But yeah, I met them back then, and I think that's how I got on their radar. And then they were going to do this record, and they invited me to do a song for it. Now, I don't remember if Matt knew the song Don't Mean Nothing, because he was part of, I had recorded a version of it myself that I was working on developing. And I don't remember if he knew it from that and thought it would be good for Nancy and brought it to them, or how that happened. But that was how I got involved in that project.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you wrote that song.
Sleepington.
What?
Sleepington.
Oh, that's the name for...
That was the name of AJ's band.
Cool.
It was cool.
Yeah. I don't know that. I need to look that up. So I was going to ask you whether you wrote that song specifically for Nancy or already had the song that was...
No, I wish I could say I did, but I didn't. I wrote it, just to write a song. I remember I wanted it to have a feel like Oh Yoko, I want to write a song like that, like a real kind of like rambling, kind of fun song like that. And I think I was definitely inspired by Dylan with a lot of verses, and just wanted to try and write a song like that in that style. And yeah,
you did it.
Yeah,
it is totally in that the Oh Yoko vibe. You played most of the instruments, nearly all the instruments on that record, except for I think AJ did backing vocals. There was a violinist, and then Don Randy played piano.
Okay.
Were you in the studio with Don, or was that an overdub?
I remember there was a day where I was in the studio when Nancy was singing, and she was amazing. And I don't remember if we were in LA or New York, where we were. It's so long ago, but I remember she had learned the song, and I was just loving watching her lay it down, and I think at the time I remember I was like, I heard the song in my head like such a specific way that I didn't understand Nancy's phrasing like genius, like that's her whole thing, I wasn't that familiar at that point, because it just kind of came in I was like, Nancy Sinatra, of course I want it, but I hadn't, at that point in time, I hadn't gone deep on her older stuff, and I didn't know that much of her stuff. I just, I knew Boots, mm-hmm. and that was pretty much all I knew. And so, in hindsight, she was bringing such a cool thing to the song, and I just like, when I hear it now, I'm just like, oh, it's just Nancy singing on, just like nailing it, like singing it so much cooler than I ever could have sang it, and I love what she brought to the song. And I just remember it was just a cool day in the studio. I think I was just like fanning out. I was just excited to be there, but I don't remember where the heck we were. It was like a real studio, I think, but I don't remember.
There's one in Hoboken that was listed, and then the other one is Sonora Recorders down in Los Feliz, which is closed, and now it's a record store called Record Safari, which is a great record store.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember.
But, well, the Don Randy who played piano on that track is like my favorite piano player in the entire world. You've got the guy that played piano on God Only Knows.
Wow.
And he played piano on Good Vibrations, and
wow.
he played piano on Be My Baby.
Wow.
And he played piano on Love's Forever Changes record. And so you have you have a great song and you played all these great parts, and then you have the Smithsonian of piano hands, the guy that's played, nearly all the magic piano parts in LA in the 60s, on there. So he and Nancy, I think, added a lot. I heard both versions of your track, and I liked from the Western album. I liked both versions, but it was, Nancy's whole thing is kind of flipping the gender on songs. That's what she always did, convincing Lee Hazelwood that she should do boots, and flipping taking something and morphing it into her own, and that's what she did with your song, and I love the result.
Yeah, the only thing in hindsight I wish I did more was just get out of her way, just get the heck out of Nancy's way. I think I was like I don't know if I was like trying to be useful, or I don't know what I was trying to do. It's like, just step aside, Pete. Step aside, let Nancy do her thing. But she did. Ultimately, she did her thing, and it came out great. So yeah.
Do you have a favorite Nancy Sinatra song?
Like, I didn't even know Sugartown until I heard it in that movie, Kid Detective, a couple of years ago, which I highly recommend. Got to see that movie, Kid Detective. It's so cool. But I love that song. I love some of the stuff she did with Lee, like on this record. Where is it? Oh, I love the Bang Bang. I loved recently. Maybe I heard it on your thing. The Bond.
Yeah.
The Bond theme. I don't even think I remembered that she had done that.
Well, and then there's the two versions. There's like the John Barry version, which, and the LA version, but
they're both cool. I love John Barry. Like I love like the theme from Midnight Cowboy.
Unbelievable.
So I love that kind of sound, that feel.
There's really no one that has melodies like John Barry. His sense of melody is so. I don't know. He adds like beauty and mystery and melancholy like no one else.
Shadow of Your Smile. I'm psyched to dig into these Summer Wine. I'm psyched to dig into these though. Lady Bird. Yeah, and I remember even when in 1998 when I was making a record with Don Fleming, who eventually led me to Matty Izzardo. I mean, it's where it started. He was so into. He was like, dude, you gotta get into Lee Hazelwood, Nancy, and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, but like my brain was like, I didn't dig in at the time. I was just listening to what I was listening to, and I was like, saw like Guided by Voices, and I was just obsessively listening to Guided by Voices, I think, at the time, like over and over again, and like Ride. And
oh man, cool.
And then finally, when I did dig into this, though, I was like, oh my god, but it was truthfully, it was way after this. Way after. That's some slowpoke. But I get it. Yeah, big time.
I love you, but soon you will see that it don't mean nothing till you figure out what it means. It's clear to me